Welcome everybody to Trading Digital and Financial Assets, or as you can read on the mic, TDFA for short. My name is Ricardo, and in this video I'll be taking you through what is in store for you guys in the coming 10 weeks. I'll talk a little bit about who I am, who am I to take you through these 10 weeks, who am I to speak to you, right? So you'll get to know a little bit about me, about the team, the people that make this possible, and I guess what is important, what you can expect from us, but also what we expect from you guys. I'll be doing this from my home, so I've got a improvised studio over here. The previous edition of TDFA, which we developed in 2020, we had a full dedicated studio, but right now I decided to go a little bit more raw. So I'm going to do these videos uncut, so whatever's going to happen in the video, I may re-record it or I may not. So if two cats outside decide to fight each other, then we'll just have to hear them in the background settle their business. I've got some slides prepared, as any lecture will have. We do have to get through some slides, and this is basically the setup that we're going to be doing. So you're going to look at me from the main camera, and I will take you through either PowerPoint slides or I will take you through some stuff in the browser to hopefully, get across as much as I can and as good as I can do that. So TDFA, as I said, in 2020 we did the first version, and we actually decided to restructure the entire course like a half a year ago. So everything that you encounter, the topics are very similar to the first edition, but we've really upgraded the curriculum, we think. So hopefully, it's all up to date as far as we can do that. And it's really full of really cool, awesome content. Of course, we are biased, but we really did our best to create something very cool for you guys. So who is we? Well, this is the team that, does it all. On the right side of my picture is somebody who holds everything together. He's like the glue or the oil of the entire operation. And I would not be sitting here still, breathing, I think, if it were not for Malva. And you will see plenty of him. He's the coordinator of both the blockchain program and the trading program. Next to Malva is Hans, alumni of either the first or the second blockchain minor edition. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. He went on to finish his master's degree in fintech in Glasgow and then ended up working for a well-known VC venture capital firm, Sino Global Capital. Tons of experience, a lot of fun. I have a lot of stories about Hans. Maybe we'll get to that at some point. But he is doing the lectures right beside me. So you will see Hans and myself doing all the lectures. Chris and Bas are both alumni. They passed this program with flying colors, I might say, and they've been a tremendous help in assisting us, again, in making this into a smooth operation, as smooth as it can be. You will be seeing them in Discord, which is our communications channel. Also, I will talk about that. And you will see them if you have any questions or if you want to. We organize working hours, for example, where you can work together with, I think under the supervision of Bas mostly, maybe also sometimes Chris, but they are assisting us in keeping this program up and running. So you will have plenty of opportunity to speak to them in person. So I will leave a further introduction for themselves. Little bit about me. I would describe myself as somewhere between entrepreneurship and a creative at heart. I've been a researcher in the past. I did that for 2 years, if I remember correctly, at The Hague University, and I've been lecturing since 2019. Ever since I've been a teenager, or I was a teenager, my dad kind of got me interested in the stock markets, in markets in general. And that just hasn't really let me go. And in my time of entrepreneurship, I've spent a lot of time working in the flower industry, actually in my 20s, and that also revolves around a market. My function, or at least I did several stuff. We can talk about this maybe in person, but one of the things I did was I specialized myself in the purchasing of mainly flowers. And if you know how that works, the Dutch flowers industry works with a Dutch auction system. So every morning at 6 o'clock, there's a tremendous amount of products that are being auctioned, with no predetermined price. So every morning at 6 o'clock, every product would be auctioned, and then there would be buyers like me, for example, who would try to figure out, okay, what is a good price to pay for this certain product? And there would be literally hundreds of thousands of products, or perhaps thousands of products every day, hundreds of thousands every week, and really quite an insane amount on a yearly basis. It's a huge industry, and I've learned a tremendous amount about how markets work. And I only figured it out later that it really helped me to become a good, and I can say that it's not bragging, it's just, after a while you can become good at anything that you put your mind to. I've become really good at trading, and I've noticed that really helped shape me as well. So to understand market dynamics, and that's what we're obviously going to look at quite plenty. I did have to say goodbye to my business with some sadness, but it got replaced by an interest in blockchain, in the entire blockchain industry, ever since March 2016. And I decided to step away from business and focus completely on that space because I saw that the potential for it was just absolutely humongous. So everybody knows about crypto right now, everybody heard about cryptocurrencies, etc. But back then it was just hardly known, and I would say one of the first people in the country, perhaps globally, to really sort of dedicate his attention to that. So in a way, right place, right time. Founded in 2016, but I didn't make the real investment step until like March 2017. But I can talk about that story at a different time. But anyway, I have been involved in that space since 2016, and it still hasn't let me go. It's really fascinating from a technological perspective, but also from a market dynamic perspective. So we'll be talking about that plenty as well. Besides all of this, my passion project, I've named it Woo is the Way. I've got a Twitter account, or X account, we call it now. It's no more Twitter, it's X. And I'm writing about something else I'm very passionate about, which is meditation and basically the discovery of how the mind works, how that operates. And again, there was like a connection between how the mind works and actually becoming a better trader. So meditation is something that really helped me to calm myself in the whole trading game. It has led to way better decision making, etc. Well, we'll talk about this in week 5, if I remember correctly. Again, the program is completely new, so this used to be week 6. I think right now is week 5, but bear with me, we'll get there. So I have a Twitter account on which I just make notes basically to myself, but I also decided to write about my experiences on Substack, and they are sort of like writings disguised as letters to my son, who is now 5 months old, who is, you may or may not hear him in the background at some point. We're also going to just let that happen, so please bear with me. Anyway, enough about me. What are we trying to achieve with TDFA? Over the years, I've encountered a lot of people who, and especially in the whole crypto game, this became apparent that people they really wanted to sort of like capitalize on, what they heard about it. Like people had friends who were making a lot of money and they would just, invest in it or decide to do the blockchain miner, for example. But what we've noticed is that the knowledge that there is out there, or the literacy, if you want to call it that, on markets and investing and trading, etc., risk management, which is of absolute importance when it comes to this game, was basically not there. And so I was actually, first I was invited, so a little bit back about the university, with my blockchain knowledge of like a year of research, I was invited to the university to first come and speak. So I did some lectures for like a group of teachers, and then we did a huge seminar in the auditorium for anybody who was interested. And then basically a buddy of mine, or buddy/colleague, Jordi Jansen, you will probably see him as well. He said we need to create a program that also teaches people a little bit about what it's like to actually invest, or what it's like to actually trade, so that people have something to hold on to and not just throw their money into whatever asset they heard about. So that's one of the goals, and that's kind of how this program was created. It's okay, we have the blockchain miner. We see a lot of students come in there who are basically there to make money. We basically, we're better off if we also create a separate program in which we, maybe dispel some myths and illusions, as you can see in the second bullet, when it comes to that. Because investing and trading is not easy, and it's a lot of fun, but it's like anything. If you want to get good at it, it takes takes some time to get there. And that's what we want to do in this program. We want to give you the skills and the tools to ultimately help you manage your finances better, to make better investment decisions, to find out why you should even be thinking about investing, etc. We take it from scratch and we dive deeper and deeper. So that's sort of like the official thing that we're trying to achieve, but we've learned from 3 years of TDFA already. This is the 12th time that we're doing TDFA actually. If I were to put it in bullets now, is like the highest thing that I think we as lecturers and as program creators can achieve is that you start to think like an investor or trader yourself. If we can help you achieve that, then that's a far better goal than, giving you some tools like, okay, buy here or buy this asset or don't buy this asset, buy the S&P or don't buy the S&P. What the S&P is, we'll also talk about. We'll start from scratch. But what we want to achieve at the end of this program is that you have a framework of thinking when it comes to financial markets, whether it be stock markets, crypto, commodities, whatever you want to trade or buy, that you have a framework of thought for yourself in which you become a better decision maker, right? Which thanks to that you become a better decision maker, and that you are starting to learn to think for yourself, because ultimately you are the one that needs to pull the trigger. And I've just learned this from experience, like when I would follow other people's advice or like a thesis or an idea, and I would not have the conviction in that idea myself. So I would be sort of like, okay, my money is invested in there, but I kind of don't know what it does. It causes sleepless nights, it causes a lot of stress, etc. All unnecessary. We're going to take it from scratch, and we're going to really teach you how to think like an investor, look for opportunities, make calculated decisions, have a solid risk management plan, etc. And most of all, help you think for yourself so that you can have your own idea about markets or about assets, etc. Okay, disclaimer, you can maybe pause the video for yourself. I'm not going to read through each of these bullets, but and I will have a disclaimer later on as well. But I think the main one that we need to get across is that nothing we say is ever financial advice. So I like to see myself when I'm in this seat or when I'm talking online or whatever as a market commentator. Yes, I do have some experience. I might have an opinion or two. But it is never financial advice. And what we're going to do is just show you around in the world of financial markets and make you, make your own decisions and create your own framework of thinking. I've said that already. Always do your own research, and like the second to final bullet, not your thesis, not your conviction. I will come back to that because that is just one of the most paramount lessons that I've learned in my journey. Last but not least, you really, really need to dedicate your time and attention to this course. It is not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. And don't let that dishearten or discourage you. It just means that you need to really take this seriously. So don't start your assignments, on Thursday or Friday when the deadline is on Sunday. If you do that, you're not going to make it. NGMI, as they beautifully say on the internet. Seriously, you need to put in the work, and if you do, even if you don't even go into the direction of investing or trading, the rewards are going to be really, really huge. Let me just take that from me. You're going to have to trust me. You'll get to know me, over the course of 10 weeks, but you're going to have to trust me in that really. Also on a personal level, for example, there's going to be plenty of stuff that you're going to learn that will help you in your journey of personal development. So really put yourself to this program, focus on it, work hard, and you will see that the reward is really going to be huge. I can say after 3 years of doing this, the people that actually put that dedication into the program, they always came back to us with that feedback. So I've gained some confidence in what this program does. Course structure. So we have 5 types of content. TDFA video, so that's what you're looking at right now. So this is just a course overview and introduction, but the next one is going to actually talk about the sources that we are going to be using, and we're going to be reading, viewing, etc. So the external sources, that's basically the structure, the foundation of this course. So we have selected YouTube videos, we've selected articles, we've selected podcasts, etc. Why did we do this? And why didn't we create all these videos ourselves? Well, because there are plenty of people out there who've done a tremendous job at making a video on a certain topic. And rather than spending time recreating that or also doing that, we just think, well, I'm of the personal opinion that is just a waste of my time. I'd much rather give you the perspective on why a video or why a certain article or topic is important and how you should look at it and how you can incorporate this in your thinking, right? So we have the videos online and on the Koios platform. More about that later. And beneath the videos, we'll have the sources. Then, of course, we have the lectures. You have 2 lectures a week. If we can, we will try to do some extra lectures if there is, a desire to have them from you guys. We have guest lectures. We're going to, put that in a podcast format. And we have Twitter, which we use extensively to share interesting stuff. Like create a Twitter account. I can already give you that, or an X account, we should say now, because the amount that you're going to learn there from the smart people that are on that platform is going to be huge. Really, I would definitely recommend having a Twitter account. I would say, as an investor or trader, you kind of cannot go around that. It's really full of people who are like way smarter than I am, way more experienced as well. Anyway, more on that as well. So we have our own Twitter page or a profile. You can follow us at TDFA course. We'll also be sharing more and more of our ideas on X, which I still need to get used to the fact that it's called X. Before we continue, let me just, you see, this is how it goes. Now I've lost my train of thought for a second, but I'm not going to cut it. We're just going to continue. Communication, Discord. You've received an email, I think, I hope, in which all this information is also visible. Make sure that you are in the Discord, because this is going to be our means for communication. If you haven't heard of it before, it's basically WhatsApp on steroids with channels, dedicated channels to certain topics. We have our Ask a Teacher tool in there as well. So if you have any questions during the program, you can use that tool, and either Bas or Chris or myself or Malva, somebody will be with you very, very quickly. That's what we try to do this as quick as possible. So no more waiting for emails for days or even weeks. We really, have a hub over there in which we all are present, and we can communicate quite smoothly there. Important announcements you'll find there. You'll find links, you'll find files, and you can earn something in the Discord called XP. And with that XP, you can earn Titan tokens and NFTs. Now, if that is too technical, if you have no idea what that is, you will learn about that soon enough. It should also be in documentation. And otherwise, you can ask about this in the Discord. That's how it works. That's the beauty of it. So Chapter 1, Financial Markets. Chapter 2, Investing. We have 2 weeks of financial market analysis, both the fundamental side and the technical side. I see a typo there. You see it? Analysis. Fundamental analysis we do in week 3. Anyway, and we will be, before I give you that overview, week 5, risk management and trading psychology. So that's where we are, week number 5. Then we're going to have a very practical week, like what does it look like to actually buy something, sell something, what platforms do we use, etc. And week 7, 8, and 9 are probably my favorite of the program. That will be the Bitfavo trading competition. More about that in a second. Bear with me, guys. We're almost there, I promise. And your deliverables, not unimportant. We have a weekly portfolio that you will be graded on in the form of either pass or no pass. We have a weekly test every Friday, and we have 5 of them. You need to pass 4 out of 5 minimum. In week 7, we have video assignments, so you're going to be required to actually make your own video. More on that you can find in the documentation as well. Again, or ask in Discord if it's still unclear. And the final assignment is going to be the trading journal. That's going to be graded as well. And that ties to the TDFA trading competition. So we've partnered, in the past, we partnered with FTX. FTX was or kind of still is a cryptocurrency exchange, but they had malpractice. We had funds on there. We had like 4,000 euros. Unfortunately, we're still trying to, get those back. That's a story for another time. But we initially partnered with FTX, which we were super proud of at the time. And now we've actually, Bitfavo stood up and they took over that role. And we're partnered with, or at least collaborating with Bitfavo to host our trading competition. So what we're going to do, going back to the weeks, we start with a wide overview. And we zoom in more and more and become a market participant, right? In which at the beginning, you're going to learn terminology about how markets work. Then you're going to learn about investing, and more you're going to be shaped into the direction of a solid decision maker. And we're going to do that in the form of, we call it a competition, but it's mostly fun. As long as you learn and you have fun during that competition, and you actually show us what you've learned during the program in the form of that trading journal, then you're good to go. It doesn't mean that you need to win the competition, but it's a nice element. Something that we are very, very proud of is that the first edition of the trading competition was actually won by Maarten, who joined the program with absolutely zero prior experience when it comes to financial markets, trading, investing, etc. But what Maarten had was a determined mindset. He was very critical on the program. He really digested and devoured all the sources that we provided to him, and also the tools that we talked about, the stuff that we talked about in lectures. And he went on to win the very first trading competition. And the same happened with Andre in 2023. So that means that something in our program actually works, that you can get in a very short period of time, you can at least get to a point where you make decisions that make sense, right? Let's just calm ourselves down. But at least you have something to work with, and you can make decisions based on some knowledge, skills, and experience that you have, right? Rather than just throwing your money into a market and hoping for the best. So what's in store? If I may say so myself, we've selected really awesome content, really good sources, so lots of interesting conversations. You will meet all the famous investors, Warren Buffett, Cathie Wood, Druckenmiller, like all of them. We've carefully selected it in such a way that you get to know a lot of people in the sources as well. So sometimes it may just be a conversation between two people that you've never heard of, but then you realize, hey, these two people are actually some of the smartest people that I've ever seen, and I can learn a ton from this conversation, right? So that's sort of like the way that we've constructed it. Feel free to make memes, by the way, top left and bottom right corner. Feel free to make jokes of us. Like, we work hard. We are playfully serious, but also we're seriously playful. We don't mind a joke every now and then. But yeah, we do like to work hard. Anyway, so we try to get awesome guest lectures and podcasts as well. We do have a lineup already, more about that later. The trading competition, you'll have a lot of fun. The amount of learning is going to be tremendous. That's what we've heard from students in the past. You're going to be able to network, so we will organize drinks whenever we can, where you can make friends. And last year we did a field trip to Bitvavo for 10 students, if I remember correctly, actually. So that's also really, really quite cool. And as I said, we like to work hard, and we really, really want to make sure that you guys have a good time. First of all, I would say that you actually have a program the next coming weeks that you enjoy. And we just really want you to succeed at it. We want, at the end of the road, that you say like, hey, you know what? This was awesome. It was heavy as hell, but I've learned so much, and I've really grown in this 10 weeks. If we can achieve that, then we are very happy, and that's what we're dedicated to. We really want to dedicate ourselves to your success. I think I've covered most of what I needed to cover. As I said, uncut, raw. We're just gonna leave it like that. And so to close this video off, before we go to the next one, make sure that you take this program serious, that you work hard, that you dedicate yourself to it, because otherwise you're going to, fall behind already after like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's just not going to be a lot of fun. So, but just take from me that if you do that, the reward at the end will be there, right? Everything worth having, is worthy of hard work. It goes different, that saying, but anyway, that's you know what I mean, right? So yeah, that's what we expect from you guys, and we're going to bust our behinds to make this program as good as possible for you guys. And yeah, I think that's all. I think we can cut it here. The next video, I'll talk a little bit more about the course structure, if that's still unclear, but then we actually start with week 1, and we'll start to talk about financial markets, and we'll talk about the sources, for example, that are selected for you. Can't wait to see you there. I'm super psyched. Thank you for choosing this program, really. It's like a tremendous honor to have like such large amounts of students every year, and it's just an amazing thing. So thank you so much, and we'll see each other in the next video.